How does Beyonce keep getting better? Is there some secret to her creativity? And is there something about her creativity that we could learn from? To find out, I binged on everything Beyonce. Every interview, every music video, every concert performance, anything I could find. Soon, I noticed a pattern. Let's start with an example. But here's what most people, including myself, didn't realize. Single Ladies comes from 1969 when Bob Fosse debuted a dance on the Ed Sullivan Show. When I first saw this, I was surprised, but I was like, nah, it must be a one-off incident. Beyonce can't copy and paste like this. But I felt the same way when I saw her Billboard Music Award performance.
Ladies, our revolution has begun. Girls, who run this mother? Yeah.
People applauded her exotic dancing and epic visuals, but those epic visuals happened a year earlier in Italy from pop singer Lorella Cuccarini. And those dance moves are from Mozambique, from a dance crew called Tofu Tofu. On her newest album, Lemonade, Beyonce does it again. She's walking down the street in a flowery dress before violently smashing a car window. But in 1997, we saw a Swiss artist do the same thing. And some critics have written her off because of this.
Beyonce accused of ripping off her Billboard Awards performance.
Now to the accusations that Beyonce may have stolen her moves.
It's called Originality. You should try it sometime. That's for you, Beyonce.
But here's where I realize those critics are dead wrong. Beyonce's process isn't so much copy and paste. It's more copy with taste. And I don't mean to be cheesy, but if you peel back the partition on this flawless diva, you'll find a bookworm. That's how Beyonce is able to find ideas from the streets of Mozambique to the stages of Italy. She's obsessive. She scours YouTube trying to find any idea.
I saw this YouTube clip maybe about a year ago, and I held on to that, locked it away in my memory bank, and I said, okay, for my next project, when I do up-tempos, that's how I want to dance.
She even attends shows with that very idea in mind.
Nobody gonna want us to go to their shows, Frank.
Why?
Because we gonna take everything.
Yeah, but everybody does that, though.
No, everybody does.
Yeah, you know? But it is gonna be fresh.
But we go and meet everybody and say, hey, great show, and then steal it.
Critics who dismiss Beyonce as unoriginal kind of miss the point. She credits her sources. I mean, to find Tofu Tofu, she went through the US Embassy in Mozambique for months, found them, and then hired them as dancers. In doing so, she gives new life to the lineage of artists behind her. In fact, before Beyonce copied Cuccarini's visuals for the Billboard Music Awards, Cuccarini copied Japanese artist Kagmu. So if Cuccarini didn't adapt Kagmu's work a year before, then Beyonce may never have created the performance that was Run the World. It's the same story with Single Ladies, and this blew my mind, because the most interesting nuance about that is how Beyonce discovered the Bob Fosse dance to make Single Ladies. It wasn't by digging through the 1960s archives of the Ed Sullivan Show. It's because in 2007, somebody remixed that Bob Fosse dance to DJ Unk's Walk It Out.
Now walk it out.
I saw this on YouTube. It's these three ladies, and one of them is Bob Fosse's wife, who's this choreographer, and they're doing Walk It Out. They put Walk It Out to the music. It's from like the 60s, and it's one take, and it's black and white. And I thought, wow, how amazing would that be now?
In other words, Beyonce made Single Ladies in 2008 based on a 2007 remix of a 1969 dance. That's the power of copy with taste. Beyonce's creative process is actually part of a greater trend. Duke statistician David Banks talks about how geniuses often cluster at the same time and the same place because it's easier for them to copy off one another. Elizabethan London brought us William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Nash, and other prolific playwrights. I mean, Shakespeare copied from so many people that critics claimed he wasn't even a real person, but a pen name for 4 contributing authors. Years from now, I wonder if we'll look at 2016 and think the same. We'll talk about how this was the era where the internet allowed us to swipe from any place and any time. And we may remember a Houston native named Beyonce Knowles who did it best. But the question remains, where does that leave us? How can we be more creative? I learned from Beyonce that it's more about looking back at the stars who came before you, looking at those who differ from you, because innovation is nothing but the imitation of lots of different inspirations and a lot of hard work to make it happen. It's why we'll face the same critics along the way. They may call us knockoffs, but it's how all the greats start off. Beyonce was once called the Diana Ross of her generation. But today,
she's not the Diana Ross of our generation. She's the Beyonce of our generation.
So who's the you of your generation?